Hi, I'm Joe Plummer, author of Dishonest Money, Financing the Road to Ruin. There are three primary topics that I cover in this book. The first is the nature of power, the second is the ultimate aims of power, and the third is the modern weapon being used to exercise abusive power over the people of the globe today, and that is our monetary system. When trying to convey to people how important it is to understand these three topics, it's difficult. If for no other reason, they are not covered in our school system and they are not covered in our media. And that's no accident, because when people learn how power ultimately operates, what its aims are, and the tools that it uses to exploit people, they have a tendency to rebel against it. So when I'm trying to express to people why they should care about this, I'll often fall back on saying, you know, I've been researching it for a very long time. I've been researching it for 6 years, and I'm telling you, this is the most important thing. These are the most important things that we need to learn in our society if we want to regain control of it again. But that doesn't mean much. I say I've been researching it for 6 years. Okay, that could mean that 6 years ago I picked up an article, I read it, and then a year later I read something else, and then I decided, hey, I'm going to write a book on this. So I was thinking, how could I add some weight to the sincerity of what I'm saying? How can I add real weight to the importance of these topics and the importance of understanding them and the importance of coming across something that will make it easy to understand them? And the first thing that popped into my head was, well, you know, tragedy and hope has an awful lot of weight to it, both figuratively and literally. So let's start there. One of the books from which most of the damning quotes, some of the most damning quotes anyway, in this book come straight out of Tragedy and Hope. Most people don't want to take the time to read this, but to gather some of the more important information, you don't have to read all this. Simply go through Dishonest Money and you will get some of the most important quotes from that book. Money, Bank Credit, and Economic Cycles. Fantastic. If you want to understand the inherently fraudulent nature of fractional reserve currencies and fractional reserve banking, here you go. Fantastic book. But again, not necessary, because since fractional reserve fiat debt money is what Dishonest Money is all about, you're going to be able to gain the basic understanding that you need. Henry Kissinger's Diplomacy. If you want to understand realpolitik, raison d'etat, the reason of the state, adulation of power, and the exercise of power over other people, straight from a man who knows it well and is intelligent and knows what he's doing. It's a fantastic book. You know, one of the signs that a book has had a lot of good information in it is when I've got my notes here. And each one of these little about 1-inch segments has a page number and a note of the topic that's covered, an important topic or something that was very interesting that was said. It's a good sign when you've got a whole page of those page references with notes. It's a good book if you want to understand realpolitik. Now, of course, you don't have to read big, thick books like this to gather really useful, important information of how the elite see you and how they enjoy pulling the strings of your mind. Excellent short little book here, Propaganda by Edward Bernays. Fantastic. Another excellent short book would be The Impact of Science on Society. You know, again, these books are just filled with, they're good when there's underlines and notations all through it, and my notes page has references on it. Just some of the stuff that's in here. Education should aim at destroying free will so that after pupils have left school, they shall be incapable throughout the rest of their lives of thinking or acting otherwise than as those who taught them would have wished. Diet, injections, and injunctions will combine from a very early age to produce the sort of character and the sort of beliefs that the authorities consider desirable, and any serious criticism of the powers that be will become psychologically impossible. How's that sound? Sound like something you want to sign up for? Oh, here's a great one. Creature from Jekyll Island. Fantastic. Of all the books that I've read, Dishonest Money explicitly suggests that after finishing Dishonest Money that you actually go out and you buy Ed Griffin's The Creature from Jekyll Island. Fantastic book. Foundations, their power and influence. How the elite pool their resources and gain control of science and institutions and political organizations. Great book. Another book by Quigley, The Evolution of Civilizations. There have always been a ruling elite since the dawn of civilization, and there is a ruling elite today. Throughout history, they've used different ways of controlling people, and as I've already suggested, their primary tool today is the monetary system. Century of War, William Engdahl. Another book filled with just fantastic information. The notes page and the references just stacked in this one. Brzezinski, The Grand Chessboard. Again, you want to get into realpolitik and you want to understand what realpolitik is. One of the notes I wrote, just right on the first page here, after reading it, I just summarized it this way. For the political elite, ruling the world isn't a matter of whether they should. It is simply a matter of how do they do it. That summarizes it. Lords of Poverty. Fantastic book. You want to understand how they prey on people's goodwill and desire to help poor people, funnel that money into their control, use debt to gain control of nations, and exploit people in need. It's not very pleasant, but it's a good book. Something short on economics, Economics in One Lesson. Okay, so these are just some of the books. Another one, this one I would definitely recommend. Our Enemy, the State. Just absolutely fantastic, by Albert J. Nock. Again, another book that's just got so much good information in it, it's highlighted and underlined throughout. Okay, again, the purpose of this video is to help convey why it is that I so sincerely believe in the importance of these three topics. The nature of power, that we absolutely must understand the nature of people who seek power over others. The ultimate aims of those who currently have sought and hold power, and the weapon that they're using against us, which is in modern history right now, it's the modern monetary system. By bringing out these books, I hope that it helps to demonstrate this isn't just something that I came up with off the top of my head, that by drawing on the work of professors, experts like Carol Quigley, professor of history, or Jesus Huerta de Soto, a professor of economics, or Henry Kissinger, a professor of realpolitik, that you'll understand that although you weren't taught about these things, they are very real, and they are easy to go research on your own if you want to simply take the time and energy necessary to do it. This isn't something that is not documented. It's something that is documented. It's something that's real. It exists. And hopefully by condensing, by drawing on all this work from all these other people, and of course this is just some of the books that I've gone through to gather the information, a small percentage actually, these are just the ones I wanted to highlight. By condensing all that information to something that's short and not written in economic language or not written in the common language of the intelligentsia, you'll be able to easily absorb it and understand how we need to move forward.